Welcome, everybody. Just want to take a minute. I know that we said that we were going to share this with our mastermind and lead generation, but we have Kelly.Chesnick with us today from Wells Fargo. And she's going to talk about a product that Wells has and maybe a couple others, but one that's sort of near and dear to my heart, the Union Plus program, something that we've kind of implemented before years ago. It's probably, gosh, it's 10 years now, probably when I had a big team over at Keller Williams, and I was doing marketing directly to unions. So when I saw this product pop up on my radar, I thought this would be a great opportunity to sort of go back to those roots. And, it was a great lead generation tool and a way to fill out the pipeline. But as most things in real estate, when you find something that works, eventually you stop doing it for some reason. I don't know, we're like on to the next best thing. But welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I know it's been a blast from the past working here with Greg, and I know I've had the opportunity to work with Joe here recently on a great transaction that we just recently had. So glad to be kind of reconnected with you and let you know a little bit more about this program, the benefits, how simple it is, and obviously more importantly, how to generate more leads and more opportunities going forward due to the relationships with the different unions that you may be accessible to in the area. So,
awesome.
I
was going to say, take 30 seconds and introduce yourself, because
yes,
I know you, Joe knows you. But...
Yes, absolutely. So my name's Kelly Hammond. Chesnick is my maiden name. I've been married for about 9 years now. Have 3 little ones. We live in Davidsonville, so I'm local to the area. I have been with Wells Fargo now for 14 years, which is, forever in our industry. So I've been doing it for about 18. So been super blessed. Have been really, really happy with Wells Fargo and all the things that it offers to customers and clients, from your first-time home buyers to your affluent customers. So kind of one of the reasons why I've stayed here is just because we have something for everybody. And this Union Plus program kind of ties into everything, and just another one of the added benefits that we have that customers are loving, especially right now, the benefits that they would get through Wells Fargo. So
awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing your time. Why don't you kind of give us the 30,000 foot view of what Union Plus is, and then I can ask some questions about it and see if it aligns with what I'm thinking.
Right, exactly. So the Union Plus program, specifically through Wells Fargo, is when the client does obtain the financing through Wells Fargo. The loan is funded and closed by Wells Fargo. If you're doing a purchase transaction, they get an after closing gift, a $500 gift card from a retailer of most common popular retailers, even just a Visa gift card that they get after closing. If they also do a refinance, they can also be eligible for a $300 gift card through Wells Fargo. So there's also the benefits of kind of the repeat coming back and continuing to use Wells Fargo. Let Wells Fargo be your servicer. With that being said, we are still servicing an enormous amount of loans. I think it's over 60 million loans currently that we're still servicing, and we'll continue to service. I'll always be the point of contact, so a client doesn't need to call the 800 number. So I like to use that as a resource for my clients as well. The biggest feature, obviously the gift card is always great and wonderful, but the biggest feature regarding it is the ability to, if there is an issue with the union member and they're having a problem and they're going on strike or furlough or disability, Wells Fargo does offer no interest loans or grants to those mortgage holders with Wells Fargo during that difficult time. So I think it's about 12 million or so in the past that Wells Fargo has provided to those union workers that had their financing through Wells Fargo. So I know just recently there was a lot of talk about UPS even was very close to a strike here recently. So I think there was a lot of chat and chatter about, all right, well, let's check and see, if our clients or the people are going to need to use this resource to be able to not go default on their loan and still be good to go going forward with that no interest loan through Wells Fargo. Yeah. So that's probably the biggest benefit, I would say. I mean, obviously everyone loves a $500 gift card, but that's obviously a huge benefit to the union workers. The other unique part that I don't think a lot of people know about the program, I just recently had a transaction. Actually, I did the transaction for the union worker. He was with the electric workers, and then turned around, and 3 months later, his daughter actually purchased a home, and I was able to use the benefits for her as well. So the benefits are for verified, active, and retired members of participating labor unions, their spouses or domestic partners, parents, and children. So a lot of times we don't ask the right questions. I know I'm sometimes guilty of that too, but this is huge to be able to make sure that now the children also, or the spouses, are able to take advantage of it as well. So basically we take a loan application, it's one form, and they get the form completed and signed, and that is it. They don't have to do a training. They don't have to do anything. It's one signed form, and they're eligible for this going forward. So it's pretty straightforward with the application piece. I think the biggest thing is also just kind of, letting them know, oh, well, tell everyone that you work with that this is such a great program, and then targeting those specific unions. So that's, for me, has been the next step to really capture more of that, the group from the unions.
Yeah, well, I think, like you said, and I know Yellow just announced, I'm pretty sure, I got to double check my facts on this, just announced that they were filing for bankruptcy, but they're part of the Teamsters Union, 30,000 employees there. So, this kind of thing would have been, perfect for them if they had already had it, so to speak.
Correct.
There's going to be a lot of displaced workers with that bankruptcy, I believe, for sure. But the thing is with this, what I love about this, and we used to do this for different entities and organizations, teachers, unions, but, we were they reeled us in on what we could do for specific groups, right? With, wasn't through necessarily RESPA, but we weren't allowed to offer this group something without offering this group something. But that's not the case necessarily in lending, right? So lenders can get around that a little bit. And perception is reality. So my thinking is that if you want to really differentiate yourself in the marketplace as a realtor, you can take a product like this and brand it. It could be like the Teamsters Plus home, finding your way home program or something like that, right? Where you take this product, you talk to one of our preferred home inspectors, they give a discount to their service for the union members. You can offer a home warranty as part of your services through this Teamster Plus program. Sure. And you kind of cabbage those benefits together. And all of a sudden you're at your membership saves $2,000 when they use us, but they also get XYZ bullet points. Like you said, the mortgage protection portion of it, which is huge, like you said. But there's, you can take Fiverr or Canva and really brand something like this and present to different unions in a way that there's a lot of intrinsic value to it. But again, perception wise, if it looks like it's unique to their membership, they're going to be way more engaged than if it's just, hey, are you thinking about buying or selling a house? Give me a call kind of thing. This is really adding some value to those conversations.
Yeah, I think it really does. I think the biggest thing for me and for my next step for really trying to capture this, this past week was at it's actually close to where you are, in Millersville. They have the firefighters union right there, and they have a big hall in there. And I'm working on them to try to get in there to have a conversation with them, because I think it just opens up the door, it opens up the window. I think that just like your veterans, it's a very loyal, tight-knit group, right? So I think, if one person starts talking and then next thing you know, your business is really booming and you really built that niche, like you said, to this. So I think getting into the union, it's hard. It's hard because who is the great contact? This is just another gimmick if you're selling something. But I mean, this is a program. It's known nationwide. A lot of times it's on the union websites already, that their union offers, the Union Plus mortgage program through Wells Fargo. It's just, do they have a local contact? And
Sure.
to be honest, this is recorded, but we don't want to, I think we've all dealt with Wells Fargo from the corporate level, and having to call it the 800 number, it can be painful. That's why we get a bad rap sometimes, because, the times are, they're only answering the phones between certain times of the day. I can be a local person that they can reach on the nights and the weekends for a pre-approval letter. And that's what I'd like to be able to tell them. I don't think that, just putting it on their website is enough. They need to know that we have an actual representative from Wells Fargo that can offer this to all the union members. And then we could couple it together and even partner with your office and kind of say, okay, together, like you said, we can bundle it together in this package. And oh, by the way, we're going to all work together and hopefully earn your business. So
yeah, absolutely. You find some other people that are germane to the real estate transaction or relationship wise, an insurance person or someone, and really bundle this together in a value add. Union leaders are always looking for value for their membership, right? They have to justify their position as a union leader. They're out there trying to find value add items for their membership. This is an easy way to provide that to their membership. And it's got to be, you have to do it right. It has to be bundled in a very professional manner. It has to look right, and it's got to be geared towards their membership so it looks exclusive. Again, perception is everything. But you really touched on something that I found in the past was key and integral to our success when we were doing this at a higher level. Is you got to find the gatekeepers, right? You got to find who that person is who has that one-to-many relationship, whether it's the union lead or HR department for a particular
admin, right?
Yeah. So that's where you sort of put in a little bit of that due diligence, a little bit of that research, or ask people if they know someone in a position of authority or position of leadership within a union.
Right.
And you find that one-to-many, you schedule a meeting with them, find out, what they like, drop off a little pop-by gift along with a packet of information. Say that you'd be more than happy to do a lunch and learn for their membership. If their membership was going to do something, we can get that sponsored. You go in there, you present, a quick 5 to 10 minute elevator pitch on what this is, let them have lunch and leave, some leave behinds. And it really can, like you said, you develop that niche and it can build your sales pipeline in a very sustainable and rich and deep way. So I think there's a lot of pluses to it.
And I think there is a lot of local opportunity here with it. I mean, like I said, with the firefighters, I think they told me there was like 600 right there in the Millersville location. So they're looking for that. They're looking for a real life person, I think. I know a lot of times especially now, the home buying process is more challenging than ever. I mean, having a great realtor that's there and helpful and knows how to negotiate, and then also having the other partners, like you mentioned, that can help navigate the process. It's so hard. I mean, transactions now, I think I average 10 to 15 pre-approvals that I'm sending out per client, because it's just, there's so many offers and they're just not getting it the first time. So having your people be there and be supportive is huge. And I think the best referral source is from the people they can see, not just, on the surface. So, I
100% agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, just to add real quick to this, because this is very new, that Wells Fargo has just come out with. This is a $10,000 access grant. It's not a loan. It doesn't have to be paid back. They basically, the only downside is it's going to be as added income at the end of the year. But the program does allow for a $10,000 grant, and it's towards the down payment. So if you have a person that's purchasing a $300,000 property, we have your down payment for you. It's basically 100% loan, 100% financing. It's huge. It has to be in the census tract. So you definitely have to be in specific areas of location. just had several clients yesterday in Laurel, DC, the Bowie area, all are eligible. The loan limits are much higher than most of the other programs. The DC loan limit, DC income limit, I'm sorry, is at 167,000. So you could get a person purchasing $600,000-700,000 home and be eligible for the $10,000 grant.
Wow.
Anne Arundel County and Baltimore County, a little bit lower at 139,000 for income, still a decent sized purchase price in Anne Arundel County and Baltimore County. So the access grant, I think, would be a great follow-up and add on to this. That I think a lot of those union workers, that's going to be in their sweet spot for purchasing. So these coupled together would just, I think it could really be a slam dunk at the end of the day.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't know, hopefully the agents listening to me when I'm telling them this is the differentiator. Like there's 1.5 million realtors out there. That's realtors. There's more real estate agents. Yeah. And, there's people getting out of the business this year for sure, but competition is fierce. And like you said, in this market, it's probably the most fierce competition. It's challenging. It's ever changing. It's complex. Like you said, and two things that consumers want. They want value, but they want good customer service, right? You got to have those two things together. So you got to deliver value, but you also, like you said, they want to talk to a person. They want to have a team that they feel is on their side, listening to them and what their needs are, and can help them really achieve their goals, whatever their housing goals might be. So I think it's a win-win. I think it's a way to develop meaningful, or to start and have meaningful conversations around real estate. Most agents struggle to start conversations, lead generation of any kind. This is, you're showing up with something of value. It's not, we're not saying, we're not being salesy. This is, we're going to deliver a great service at a value add, and here's your team. So I highly encourage any of the agents, when you're watching this and when we do our masterminds around this, to put some time and effort into it. Think about who you know, who knows people in unions, and then put together a nice little presentation package, marketing, bundle all these up, and get creative on what you can offer them. And, you can have a vendor list of vendors that provide, all kinds of benefits on top of what this is. So you can go several layers deep, but I think it's a phenomenal product. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Kelly, for some of the agents that have questions?
My cell phone is the best way to reach me always, 240-508-6087. And my email always is great and quick and fast, as I'm on the phone a lot, but it's Kelly.Chesnick@wellsfargo.com.
Awesome. Well, I will make sure I include that in the information that I provide to the agents, but we're going to share this information with the agents. I'm going to circle back around with you, and then let's put something together and see if we can't make this work for consumers. I appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.